The more hits we play, the more hits we get. URLradio.net. Stacy Sturm.
Arthur Pennywinkle.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And we have some guests in the studio, Mr. Pennywinkle. We have Brandon and Sarah, and they are in, and we're going to be talking about, now, do you guys like to be called witches or Wiccans? Like, what do you do? What do you like? What do you prefer? What is your titles?
I'm so damn eclectic. You can call me whatever you want, really.
Yeah,
Bob.
picky.
Bob works.
What do most people call you?
A lot of people will use the term just pagan because it's such a blanket term.
Yeah. That almost seems like an insult, though, doesn't it? Like pagans, you pagans. I don't know. It just seems
Not
like
on our side of the fence.
I suppose, but it seems like if I'm going to call you something, I don't know.
There's
I don't know.
less of a stigma attached to pagan than there is witch, though. Like, more people
For
are gonna be
real?
like, oh God, don't talk to me when you say witch.
Really?
Yeah.
So they assume when we say witches, you're automatically like bubble, toil and trouble. You're going to put a
the
curse
whole
on
green
them.
skin, hook nose, wart, everything.
Yeah. So how did you guys get started into this?
You want to go? Because my story's longer.
Oh God, they're both long. High school, I kind of started just kind of spreading out knowledge-wise when it came to like religion, and this worked. It had less rules, wasn't as strict. It wasn't, if you do this, you're going to go to hell, but if you do this, well, then you'll have many, many blessings upon you. And I just didn't fit with that, so I kind of did my searching and found myself in the paganism and kind of spread out from there. I gravitate a lot towards Celtic mythology and stuff like that when it comes to like what I look into.
How about you, Brandon?
Well, as for me, I was lucky in how I grew up. My mother always encouraged free thinking, open-mindedness, so I honestly didn't even see the inside of an actual church until I was probably about 16. So I had no idea what that was even like. We were always raised with the freedom to explore for ourselves, question, figure out your own path in life. So I was able to grow up like this.
But then what made you decide to become like a witch or a warlock or whatever it is you want to go by?
It made sense to me. Mm-hmm. The more I got into the history of religions, the more it all seemed to come back full circle, and it just clicked with me. It always has.
Plus, it's kind of a cool thing too. Like, I watch Practical Magic and The Craft.
There we go.
You know that Stacy was a witch?
Okay, I was for a while, like 2 weeks. I was going to be a witch. And then they were talking about directions, and they wanted to put me in a direction, and I always picture myself more of like an Eastern witch, an Eastern direction.
It's like
and they wanted me more
Notorious
south.
B.I.G.
Yeah, I'm California, West Coast.
I was going to say, wasn't it East Coast, West Coast rival? But when they were talking about this, I'm like, wow, that's not really how I pictured it. I was really happy about it. So I didn't go to any more meetings. But I had crystals, and I had rune stones, and I had, what else did I have? Oh my gosh. I was prepared. Like, I had everything I thought I needed.
The Get Witch Quick Starter Kit.
But so then how did you actually get started in it? Because where did you guys grow up at?
Okay, I grew up in the Bay Area, California, so I'm already surrounded by like-minded people.
Right, so you're going to have more access to that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, shit, Anton LaVey lived across the bay from me in San Francisco.
Yeah, well then that makes sense. What about you, Sarah?
I grew up in a very Christian home in South Dakota, so like not a lot there to
Her
go off
mama
of.
was not happy.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. So then how did you even start to practice? What did you even do? Because I'm sure there was probably no place that was offering anything like that around you. Or if they did, it was super quiet.
Yeah, not really. And even now, like I've seen stores pop up back home and then disappear within years.
Yeah.
It's hard in that area, I think. For the most part, it was just like out of a drawer of my dresser. I kept all my books in the dresser. I just did a lot of stuff quietly in my room on my own, and really started branching out after I moved out in college.
Mm-hmm. So what is it like in Bismarck? What's the scene like? Because it seems to me like there's a lot of witches.
There's a lot more.
And by a lot, I mean like 6. No.
About 6 publicly, yeah. No, that's what's great about the whole social media. It's connecting everybody rather quickly. And there's a lot of them, hate to use the term, as they say, coming out of the broom closet. That is a term we use.
That's amazing.
So yes, that is a thing.
So then how does it work? What do you guys believe? How do you practice? What do you do? Give us a rundown kind of what you guys do.
I'm kind of all over the place, more so towards like, how do I put it? More towards the occult aspect, the symbology, the Hermetic orders. And like she said, she's more of like the Celtic.
Yeah, Celtic. I do a lot with crystals and tarot. I guess for like rituals and stuff like that, we do celebrate the 8 major Sabbats throughout the year, and then there's actually smaller rituals for like every full moon, and then you can even do a new moon. So I mean, depending on how active a person wants to get in things, you can do a lot. A lot of people will just do like the big major holidays because of how busy things are, or maybe groups don't get together as often. But
and also kind of like the stigma you were talking about earlier. A lot of us will come together for some of the bigger ones, but there's a lot that would rather stay kind of solitary, kind of keep it quiet into themselves, especially like around here. You know?
They're afraid people are going to pass judgment on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you guys get that? Do people say mean things or pass judgment, or?
Because of how I am, I don't really give a shit. I don't.
not a lot that I've noticed. I mean, I've had coworkers kind of joke about it. Oh, you're really a witch? Can you do any spells? And then I've had the occasional, hey, so-and-so stole your car, and they're like over sweeping the floor with the broom.
You're like funny people.
Yeah.
You Christians are hilarious.
The one I like the most is when they notice the pentacles that we wear, and they get curious. Like, so that's like a real thing? Can you tell me about it? And they keep it very quiet, but they want to know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun.
Yeah. So then, what are some? Yeah.
Is that me?
I think it's your headphones. Here, let me. Your headphones could be too loud. Is that better? Stop.
Yes.
So then, what are the major holidays? What do you guys typically celebrate?
You want to write them down?
We have, usually it starts with Samhain, which is celebrated on Halloween, and then we have Yule for...
Okay, Samhain on Halloween. It's spelled Samhain.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird Celtic
Samhain, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those Celtic things where
Remember,
no matter
I was a
how you
witch
spell
for
it, that's
2
not how
weeks.
it's
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. And that's like a harvest festival.
Yes. That's the last of the harvest festivals, but usually the year starts out for that, with that holiday.
Okay.
And then we have Yule, which is celebrated around the 21st or 22nd of December. Most actual Christmas traditions came from different pagan traditions for that.
Oh, Mike likes to talk about that.
Imbolc, which is February 2nd, is like the return of the light. So celebrating that the days are starting to get longer and warm again. Not really around here, but...
And other places. Yeah.
Then we have Ostara, which is like the pagan version of Easter. A lot of Easter traditions taken from that. That's usually around March 21st, 22nd, I think.
They almost always fall on like a 21st.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is that
Solstice or?
Solstice is...
ones, yeah.
Yeah, solstice is an equinox. So it kind of alternates back and forth. Then there is May Day or Beltane. And that's May 1st. Midsummer, which is June 21st. And then there is Lammas or Lunasa, which is August 1st or 2nd. And Maban, which is September 21st or 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that would take you back to
sewing.
Yeah. Do you guys do spells?
Not
Yeah.
as often as people would think. Like, it's kind of a minor thing, really, when it comes down to it. Most of the time, you're going to be doing more practical stuff to achieve.
Before you ask, I don't do love spells. I don't do that shit.
Why would I need a love spell? I have such a wonderful man in my life.
Could you take someone out?
That, we can mix up a little potion for you.
Don't even think about it. What are the most popular things people do ask for the love spell? What about money? Do people ask you if you can do money
Right there,
things?
yeah.
Yeah.
Money, love, jobs. Those would probably be the top three.
Mm-hmm. So then do you guys have something for those things?
Well, first, I don't mess around with the love spells because you're messing around with people's free will. I don't like that. You can't really do that with that. You can't get away with that.
So that would include the breakup spells as well.
Free will.
And as for the money stuff, I try to get people to understand you don't just get something from nothing. That's not how the universe works. Something's got to be taken from somewhere to be given. So if you want a money spell, careful what you're asking for because you might have a favorite uncle that dies and leaves you an inheritance, and there's the money you asked for.
Right.
So.
That's true.
Well, my grandma's kind of a horrible human being, so...
Yeah, can you pick where the money comes from? What's the craziest thing anybody's asked you to do for them?
Let's see.
Has anybody ever asked you to kill off Granny or something like that?
No, I haven't had that one come up yet. No. Well, other than this one
There's
here.
a first.
Whoa.
Have you gotten some crazy ones? And that'll mostly come from like the beginners.
Not a lot. I mean, I guess like with the love spell thing, anytime it does come up, the free will is kind of the main issue. But I mean, there are spells you can do that are more like just welcoming love into your life. So not targeting, oh, I want Joey to like me.
Right.
It's, I want someone to like me. And then that's a little bit more acceptable when it comes to things.
There is that one random person who will ask for a potion to be able to fly around on a damn broomstick. That does happen.
Did you just give them mushrooms? Like, here you go.
So you have kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, are they growing up the same way that you guys are growing up? Are you teaching them your ways as far as it goes?
I'm teaching them my way as far as choose if it's right for you.
Right.
If that's how you want to grow up and learning about this side, cool, I'll help you with what I can. If you choose to go, say, Christian path, awesome, I'll help you where I can there.
Now, for people that wonder, like, is it true, like, are there good witches and bad witches? Is that true?
Yes and no. I'm one of those that will think of it in terms of gray. You know, there's not really good or bad. It depends on you as the person and what you plan on doing or your intentions. You know, it's like electricity. Electricity can power your console here, or it can fry you. It just depends on how you use it.
That's a good point. Yeah. So do you meet on a regular basis? Do you guys have meetings?
We try to. A lot of times is little get-togethers for like coffee and just to kind of chat about whatever under the sun when it comes to like what people are interested in at the time. We do try to plan some events from time to time as well. It just kind of depends on availability of people and timing. And
Yeah, we are people. We do work, so we all can't always get together. We do have to go around work schedules from time to time.
If you did more damn money spells, you wouldn't have to work.
There'd be a lot of dead grandmas.
And so if people are interested, maybe asking you guys more questions, how do you want them to get a hold of you?
we actually have a group on Facebook, Bewitching Evenings. There's a public page, and I believe the group is linked off of that page.
I think at one time I liked it. It's not that I don't like it anymore, but I lost my Facebook. I mean, I'm just saying. Okay.
Yeah, you're having to start from scratch again.
I know, it sucks. You forget everything you lose until you...
No, if anybody does that to you again, let us know. We'll drop a house on them.
Sarah did give me a tip on how... Okay, so, true story. Sarah and Caitlin were in not too long ago, and I'm like, okay, this is going to sound weird, but I feel like I'm cursed. Like, I feel like something about, like... For a while there, I felt like I was cursed. No matter what I did, no matter what choice I made, it always ended poorly. Like, great choices, smart choices. I'd think it through, always ended poorly. Just horrible, horrible luck. And so I said, "What can you help me? Like, what should I do?" Mike's over there. Yes, Mike. I said, "What can I do?" And they actually gave me some tips.
Her luck wasn't that bad. It all worked out.
It does not. It doesn't. It did not. I had to trade in my car.
Your car didn't work out. One thing.
But did it all work out because she did what we suggested?
She didn't.
I just traded in my car. And got a new damn car. But no, I mean, look at me. How many times have I broke my foot over the course of like a year?
Well, you ran it over, so.
Yeah,
okay, but
see, you're breaking
that.
it in amusing ways, so it's kind of good.
No, besides that. Oh, yeah.
But,
How many times have I chipped my tooth?
Okay, that's true. No, you chipped it once, right? You just keep losing the part that goes over it.
Okay, but it's been
That
broken
doesn't
4
count.
times.
You lose everything. Do you have something you can do, because he always loses his shit?
Can't find
He
my-
loses
does.
everything.
Can't find my
she actually has a
passport.
method that works
He's
very well.
lost his passport now like 4 times. What do we do, Sarah? Give us an idea.
To keep from losing it, I guess I don't know about that necessarily, but
Put a chain on it.
I
Tell me you're always
generally,
finding shit.
I generally will use my pendulum actually, and I'll get that out and
I
like
have
go throughout the
pendulums.
house without the pendulum.
How about my pendulum story? How it just sat there. It just
It wasn't the right one for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
it worked on everyone else.
You didn't. I bet if you tried out several of them, they would probably work.
She's only a 2-week witch, and she knows.
I'm a 0-day witch.
You don't pick your pendulum. Your pendulum picks you. Come on. Yeah. And he gave it literally like 5. This was him. He's like, well, that's bullshit. It's not working. I'm like, really? That was 2 seconds.
I went back to it 3 times.
Okay, well, you pissed it off the first time.
For me, you got to work right away.
Why you don't work right away?
I have a busy schedule.
Okay, and also you guys have a store too. What kind of stuff do you guys carry in your store?
Just about everything metaphysically related. Everything from statuaries to books to incense to pendulums, crystals, charms. We have calendars, CDs,
Candles,
quite a bit.
herbs, oils.
So how can people find your store?
We are on Facebook as well. It is Tabula Rasa, TABULARASA.
Tabula Rasa.
And the website, and that's my fault, I made it like excruciatingly long. Tabula Rasa -bewitchingsupplies.com.
Maybe you're just hoping like search engines would pick up on it and such.
Yeah.
We'll go with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Like, even if you typed in bewitching supplies and I've done this, it'll come up.
Yeah, because and it's smart too now. The computer knows where you live, so it finds the closest bewitching supplies next to you. And I have to safely say, in Bismarck, you're probably one of the few places where you can get bewitching supplies. I mean, I don't know, but that and Spencer's. No,
Not really. It's funny, that's kind of how the store came about. Was even before we met, I was kicking around this idea in my head of, I wish there was a place where I could get everything I want without having to search the entire internet for everything. And then Sarah and I got together, and she kind of said the same thing. And we looked at each other and was like, well, what's stopping us from doing it?
how did you two meet anyway?
I used to be a manager at Hot Topic, worked right next door to her dad.
Yeah.
Years later, she came to work at Hot Topic.
Oh, the wonderful life of retail, creating
All the
marriages.
Stories I have from that.
Okay, so if you want to find out more about Tabula Rasa, you can check it out on Facebook. Also, you can check out Bewitching Evenings on Facebook as well for more information. Try to get a hold of Brad and Sarah if you guys have any questions. Anything else you guys want to add? Is there anything else people need to know about what you guys do? Any misconceptions? Anything you want to dispel?
Puns.
Oh, Jesus.
Fun fact about tabula rasa. Tabula rasa means clean slate, new beginnings. So that's kind of why I chose that. I really like that.
Besides the, casting spells kind of stuff, what are, some of the other really common misconceptions? I feel like people know probably more about Islam than they know about Wiccan, so... Yeah,
and unfortunately it's because a lot of the Wiccans, pagans, have kept to themselves. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, they used to burn us.
That's true.
They still do in South America or something. There was recently a burning or something that I saw. So
really?
It still happens in some cultures.
Yeah, but no, we don't eat babies. We don't do stupid shit like that.
You don't do human sacrifices? You don't?
Do people actually believe this?
You'd be surprised. Some people actually do.
God.
And as far as sacrifices, no, we don't kill goats in the backyard or none of that crap. So
it's too messy.
Just the...
it's too messy.
The guy running for Senate in Florida, he sacrificed a goat. But he's a nut. He's a horrible human being.
To win the race or just
I
for
don't
fun?
know. He went out to Death Valley, sacrificed a goat, drank its blood. I have no idea what the hell he is, but I know he's a eugenicist, so that's fun. Which is probably not related in any way, shape, or form to what...
No, I'm going to go to anything. Really not anything. Crazy.
any other misconceptions you want to add or anything else you want to add to it?
Gosh, not that I can think of, really.
I have a fun little story about my bloodline, though.
Okay.
I went into my history to see where the hell I come from, where my bloodline comes from, just because I'm curious by nature.
Please tell me you're related to Cotton Mather.
Better.
Close. Better. I got a better one than that. Way better. On my father's side, I tracked it all the way back to right the very beginning of recorded history on the border of Scotland and Ireland. On my mother's bloodline, I was only able to go back as far as the Visigoth tribe. Okay, flash forward, and I had her double check this because I call bullshit on everything. I never believe anything unless I have it double checked. So I had her check to make sure that it was true. My ancestor came over and founded Salem.
What?
Had a tannery in Salem, was just given a tannery, and somehow dipped out right before the witch trials happened. Although one of us got left behind, and she was the first one hung.
Wow.
Good wife. Yeah, she was a relative. And my family that left Salem ended up getting, what did you find? A monument in...
They have a huge memorial, gravestone type thing in New York somewhere for his family.
And then they trickled all the way down to the southern part of the States over to California. And then, there's me.
What the heck?
So
That's crazy.
It's in my bloodline, which explains, again, the curiosity and why it felt, to me, so natural and why it made sense.
Yeah. So this is going to sound weird, but do you guys believe in past lives then, reincarnations?
I kind of do. I've always, and this is an old theory of blood remembers. So even if there isn't this a reincarnation, there's something in the blood that stays behind and reminds you of where you came from, what you've been through.
I actually just very recently found out one of my past lives, and I was an Icelandic Viking of some sort. So
of course you were.
I was probably a tax collector or something.
I think you were a leper.
At least it's not like you're the 72nd Ramses III or something like that. There's way too many people who say they're Cleopatra right now, and I don't believe any of them.
Yeah,
I was probably their accountant or something.
I know you were so bad at math.
I know.
There was no way.
Look what happened to all those empires.
And she came to me with the Viking thing, and I was like, "Oh, I've got predominantly Irish blood, so yeah, where's my shillelagh? We're going at it."
What are the core beliefs of your guys' religion? What do you guys believe? Like, if people ask you what you guys would believe, what would you tell them?
Wow, that is.
It's kind of hard
There's
to
a lot
pinpoint.
in there.
I know. Especially since you tend to be more Celtic, and you're
More older than that, I'd say. Not older. That's kind of bad.
It's kind of the beauty of being pagan or Wiccan or a witch is that there are like no rules. Like the few rules that are there aren't so strict as some other religions that are like, well, you must go to confession and you must be at church, and it's not as complicated as that because like nature is church, and it's just so much more simple.
One of the things that gets to me is, and you'll find this inside in the inner circles of pagan groups, is you have the fluffy bunny pagans who are all love and light. Everything is so perfect and beautiful. Then you have the other ones that are like,
aren't those just
"Suck
called
it.
hippies?
That's not real life."
Those are just called hippies. I don't even know if they're pagans. They're just kind of hippies, I think.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've kind of taken to the, okay, there's the harm ye none, do what you will. But I've also liked the addition of, but take no shit. You know, there's got to be a balance.
Yeah, true.
Something I've kind of learned from him over the years is making that balance work. Like, in order to heal, you have to know how to hex. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to sit there and spread curses upon everyone, but you know how to.
Maybe an occasional grandmother.
I might get this money after all.
Yeah, I would say, okay, my biggest rule is balance. That's the one thing I live by is balance. And I've grown up with the philosophy of believe none of what you hear, half of what you see, question everything, think for yourself. That's probably my core.
Yeah. So, have you guys ever hexed anybody?
Why would you ask that?
I'm about to hex you right now.
That's like
And if
going
so,
to the
how much
mafia
does it
asking
take?
what they do for work. Don't ask me about my business.